Got an old tee lying around? Let's transform it into the perfect hooded tee using seamless crochet techniques. Hey guys, I'm T, maker of 600 plus patterns and tutorials. Welcome to the channel. Today's tutorial is all about upcycling. We're taking a simple t-shirt, giving it a whole new vibe by adding a crocheted hood. It's quick, creative, and a fun way to give something plain an elevated second life. If you're new here, welcome. I share modern crochet patterns and tutorials every Wednesday and Sunday, so tell a friend, tap the bell, and subscribe so you never miss an upload. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up or 2 thumbs down if you don't. Either way, it helps keep these tutorials free. So without further ado, here's how to turn a plain t-shirt into a hooded one with crochet. Any category 4 yarn will work. I used a total of 260 grams of yarn, that's 480 yards if you're stateside, along with a 5 and 6 millimeter hook. Pattern link below. Use code TCDDIY for a discount on orders over $9.99. Stay till the end for this week's pattern giveaway. We're using 3 stitches for this hooded tee. They're on screen now. Pause to check it out. This tutorial is for a size small. You can adjust it for your size, and we explain how to in the video. So without further ado, here's how to crochet your own hooded tee. For this quick and easy upcycle project, we're taking a few things that we all have lying around the house, like an old t-shirt and yarn that we're not quite sure what to do with, to create a seamlessly attached hooded t-shirt that's functional, stylish, and, like the best projects, cost nothing but just a few hours of time. So let's get started. To get that clean color edge, we actually got to map it out first. We're going to use a marker, placing dots about 1/4 inch apart beneath the collar. That's perfect spacing for our 5 millimeter hook that we're going to use right after. Try to keep these dots evenly spaced from the collar for that polished look, and just make your way all the way around. We've made our way around with the marks that we made for the base of our hood. Up first, laying down a solid base with a simple yet sturdy backstitch. This super cool trick is something that I picked up from Embroiders. It lets you surface crochet where you need extra structural integrity, perfect for delicate upcycle projects. Thread your category 4 yarn into your tapestry needle and cut about 2.5 times the collar circumference. I cut roughly 50 inches. And with the shirt right side up, we're going to do our embroidery back loops. We're going to bring our needle up through any dot, leaving a little bit of a tail. We're going to stitch forward into that next dot and then pull through. Then, from the back, we're going to come up through that next dot. Then go back down into that previous one. And that's your loop. We're just going to continue to repeat this for a smooth and connected edge all the way around. We've just made our way all the way around with our loops. Now from here, we're going to fasten it off. So we're going to flip our work over so that we're looking at the back, but really so that we can look at the back of our stitches that we just did. So taking a look at the back of my stitching, what I'm going to do is weave my, I'm going to weave my needle in through some of the stitches that we just did. So just probably into these 2, and I'm going to pull through, but I'm not going to pull through all the way. I do want to leave a little bit of loop. Since I don't have a whole lot of yarn left, I'm just going to pull like this. We can see this loop right here. I'm going to weave my needle through there. And again, don't pull all the way through. We should have this loop right here. So we're going to work over that loop that we just made, and then just pull all the way through. And if you guys need to use your fingers to kind of help it through so that it's flush with the t-shirt to kind of tug it down, do that, pull tight, and then you can cut. But I'm actually just going to tie it to the beginning of my working yarn. So we're done with embroidering for now. Now we're going to do the crocheting. And just to let you guys know, I have a total of 83 loops. So we're going to make sure that our work is still flipped right side out, right side up. We're now going to insert our 5 millimeter hook into one of the loops that we made, or stitches if you want to call it. I'm probably going to call it stitches, into one of the stitches that's roughly where the middle is, because that's going to be where the opening of our hood is. So at this point, I would suggest trying your piece on to find the center. Take note of where that center is, then go ahead and insert your 5 millimeter hook into that center stitch. Then we're going to start with a solid row of single crochets all the way around, just to sturdy things up. So go ahead and insert your yarn onto your hook. So we're going to pull through and do a chain up of 1 just to secure. That doesn't actually count as a stitch. Then working our way around, we're going to start by single crocheting into that first loop that we insert our hook into, so where our chain 1 is in, with a single. Now, if you're having a hard time inserting your hook into these stitches, that's totally normal. I had a couple that I had to wiggle my hook through. It can be a little finicky since it's worked into a t-shirt. But what I find helpful is to just pinch the t-shirt together and then just slowly wiggle your hook through. You don't want to yank too hard in any direction and then end up accidentally ripping the shirt. So this is my next stitch right here. Find that stitch and insert with a single crochet. We're going to keep up with 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way around. Then we'll be back when we're worked into that last stitch. And one quick last tip, try to keep the same tension all the way around. If things get tugged here and there, you may be able to see that bunch up in the fabric. We've made our way around with our single crochets. Now we're just going to work straight up with our hood. So we're going to switch out from our 5mm hook to our 6mm hook because we want it to be a little bit slouchier. We're going to insert our 6 and chain 3 and flip. Now we're building the height of the hood, all in extended half double crochet. It's a fun, fast stitch that adds height quickly so you see the hood taking shape in no time. But don't worry, it doesn't skimp out on the texture or density, so you'll still get that polished professional look that everyone's going to ask you about. This first row will be an increase because we want the hood to hood. It already fits around our head, but we just want to add a little bit more depth for that little extra cozy. It's super beginner friendly and only takes a few hours, so let's dive in together. Doing an extended half double, yarn over. Into that first stitch, we're going to insert, pull through to get 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through that first loop to get 3 loops on our hook again, then yarn over, pull through 3. That is our first extended half double. That chain 3 doesn't actually count as a stitch. Again, yarn over. Into that next stitch, we're going to insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first loop, yarn over, pull through 3. And we're going to continue on with our extended half doubles until we have a total of 7. Then we're going to increase. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches. Into the 8th, we're all going to increase. So yarn over, and into that next stitch with 1 extended half double, into that same with a second extended half double. And that's it. From here, we're going to continue with 7 extended halves into that next stitch and increase until we reach the end of the row. And with all these increases that we're doing into this row, we do need to make sure that we're ending on an odd number. So once you made your way all the way around, if you end on an even number, go ahead and just pop 1 extra stitch into that last stitch. Our first row of extended halves, which was our increase row, is completed. Now for the height of the hood, just more extended halves, but within the back loops. So chain 3 and flip just to do the first. So yarn over. Finding that first stitch from our previous row, we're going to insert our hook into that back loop, or the loop that's furthest away from us. So insert your hook underneath, an extended half double per usual. So pull through 1, pull through 3. Just once more, yarn over. Into that next stitch's back loop, pull through 1, pull through 3, and continue with 1 back loop extended half into every stitch. Once we reach this corner, chain 3, flip, and repeat. So just make your way all the way back around. We're going to continue to repeat this row, absolutely no increases, no decreases, until we get a hood that reaches the top of our head. Then we'll add just a few more rows for that smooth curve. Perfect for that cozy hood finish. Perfect, we have reached the ideal height of our hood. That last row should be sitting nicely at the very top of our head, and for me that's just about 23 rows, that is including that first single crochet row, and that's just about 11 inches or 28 centimeters. Now we're going to move on to my favorite part, which is the final shaping of the hood. We'll be working invisible decreases right here at the center of the hood. The decreases will give us that smooth and professional finish that creates that soft, snuggly shape that makes this hoodie so comfortable to wear. But if you prefer that sleek, edgier vibe, nothing wrong with that either. You can go ahead and seam it up right here so you can hop over to that part of the video. But if you do want a smooth curve, what we're going to do now, inserting our stitch marker into our 1 middle stitch. Mine is in my 47 stitch. Then we're going to start our following row per usual. Then we'll meet back when we have 4 stitches left right before our stitch marker. We've made our way down. We should all have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches before our stitch marker. Let me show you exactly how to do this invisible decrease, and don't worry if you've never done it before, it's actually much easier than it sounds. Now, an invisible decrease is basically taking 2 stitches and combining them into one, but the magic is that it still looks like just one perfect stitch once when you're finished. So instead of having that little cluster or gaps that you may have when it comes to doing regular decreases, this technique keeps everything smooth and seamless, which is exactly what we want for this beautiful hood and curved shape. So what we're going to do is just yarn over. Since we're working in the back loops, we're going to bring our hook down underneath that back loop. This is per usual, and bring our hook back up. That next stitch is back loop, so we are working into 2 stitches at the same time. Then just extended half double per usual. So yarn over, pull through. We should also have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, just pull through the first. Yarn over, pull through all 3. That is our first decrease. Now a slight detail that I want to mention, once when we do our decrease, once when we're working into the next stitch, whether if it's a decrease or a normal stitch, you want to make sure that you're not working into that stitch that we brought our hook up through, because if you just look at the next stitch, this could look like the next available stitch. It's not. If you guys can tell, this is that last stitch that we just worked coming out of that stitch, so that one is occupied. We want to make sure we're working into the next available stitch. But speaking of the next available stitch, we're going to do another invisible decrease into there as well. Yarn over, into that next available stitch's back loop, we're going to insert our hook. Then bring our hook back up that next stitch's back loop, then extend it half per usual. We just did 2 invisible decreases next to each other, and you can't really tell. Now into that middle stitch, which is our stitch marker stitch, simply put 1 extended half into there and insert your stitch marker into the top of that stitch, because we're going to do this for a few rows. This is our 1 middle stitch. Now we're going to be doing 2 more invisible decreases, kind of like how we did on this side. So once more, yarn over into that next stitch's back loop and up that following stitch's back loop with 1 back loop extended half, and again yarn over into that next stitch's back loop, up that following stitch's back loop with our second invisible decrease. Then just finish off the row with 1 back loop extended half into the rest of our stitches. At the end of the row, we're all going to have 4 less stitches than our previous row. Our first decrease row is completed. Just to show you what the finished product looks like, this is the front of my row. This is what everything should look like, and then once we flip our work over, and this is what the back should look like. From here, we're going to continue to repeat this row, so just 2 invisible decreases on both sides of the 1 middle stitch, so we can do as many of these decrease rows as we want until we get the height and the curve that we want for the hood. So that's completely up to you. Once when I have that completed, I'll meet you back so we can seam everything up. Everything's looking pretty good. I just completed my decrease rows. I did a total of 3 of them. So now I have a total of 26 rows. My height is now just about 12.5 inches or 32 centimeters. Now you can kind of see the result of the decrease rows that gives it this really subtle curve, but you can really tell once when it's seamed. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to start by flipping our work, t-shirt included, inside out. Now our hood is flipped wrong side out. You can't really tell by looking at the hood, but you can tell by looking at my collar right here. Now we're going to do our single crochet seam. So insert your hook into the corner stitch of both the front and the back panel. We're going to pull through and chain 1. Now we're just going to single crochet, sandwiching both of our panels together and working in through both at the same time. So just find that first stitch into the front panel, insert your hook, first stitch into the back panel, insert your hook, and single crochet. Pretty easy. Once more, next stitch into the front, next stitch into the back, and single crochet. We're just going to do our single crochet seam until we don't have any more stitches left, then cut. So we just flipped our work right side out. The seam that we just did is now along the inside, and this is what our hood looks like. And just to show you the result of those decrease rows, a smooth curve. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. We are all done. The last thing we have to do is simply weave in all of our ends. And there you have it. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Enter this week's pattern giveaway by telling us if you're shy or outgoing. I am very shy. Details for the giveaway down below. Join us on Instagram, Pinterest, or X. Those links are down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Catch you on the next one. Bye!